Just because of you, I'm saved by grace. Your love and grace, so yeah. So I say thank you for loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, yeah, 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 protecting me, Lord. So I need to touch you again, take me, protecting me, Lord. I'll always love you for what you've done in my life. Because of you, I can go on and on. I can weather any storm. Oh, so I say thank you for loving me, lifting me, yeah, saving me. That was Amar Khalil. He's on Therapy Thursday, so that was just one of his songs. He has plenty more songs. I want to try one more of Amar Khalil's songs before we get. He has this one. Is that Quickly? No, he has a song called Quickly. And I want y'all to, I think that was, here we go. I want you to listen to this song and then we will get started. Life is but a blink of an eye. Time is precious. How quickly it goes, where it ends unknown. One really knows. How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes, where it ends unknown. One really knows. No one really knows how quickly it goes. You know I cried myself to sleep at night because you're not here in this life. I know that people say, grown men don't cry. What do they know? They're not living my life. I'm missing you winter, spring, summer and fall, 'cause we shared it all, yeah. How can I go on and be strong when you're not here with me? How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes, yeah. Where it ends, I know one really knows. Where it ends, I know one really knows. No one really knows. 'cause we shared it all, yeah. How can I go on and be strong when you're not here with me? How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes. In the blink of an eye, there's no one really knows. Where it ends up, no one really knows. No one really knows how quickly it goes. Don't you know I'm missing you? Don't know what I'm gonna do. We've been through so much, me and you. It's hard to live without you. Quickly it comes, quickly it goes. There is no one really knows. No one knows. Quickly it goes. Where it ends, no one really knows. How quickly it comes. Quickly it goes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No one really knows. No one really knows. Really knows. No one really knows how quickly it comes. Hey, that was Amar Khalil singing how quickly it comes, how quickly it goes. No one really ever knows that life comes. Life, the Bible talks about life is a vapor. It comes and then it goes. And the songwriter really was talking about his grandmother. And that's Amar Khalil. He's part of Therapy Thursday. He was talking about his grandmother, that life comes quickly and life goes quickly. And nobody really knows how quickly it comes. And nobody really knows how quickly it goes. So everybody know him as Fred Ross, and his wife, Cassandra, son went to work. He went to work. It's like a regular day. His boss asked him to go pick up another employee who didn't have a ride. And when he went to go pick up the other employee who didn't have a ride, he wasn't feeling well. And because he wasn't feeling well, he told the person, "Can you drive? Can you drive?" And when he started driving, he told the individual he couldn't breathe. Now he can't drive, he can't breathe. And from what we're told, instead of the individual rushing him to the fire department or rushing him to the hospital, he took him back to work. And as on his way back to work, he passed away. And I was just talking to the parents because me and Fred, I'm the godfather of his other son, his oldest son. I'm the godfather of his oldest son, Dominic, who mom passed away. And then we've been friends, high school buddies. So we want to lift up Cassandra, and we want to lift up Fred. We want to lift up the whole Ross family. And then last night, my wife was asking me, she said, "Is this your friend?" I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "Angelique." I'm like, "Angelique Richardson?" She's like, "Yeah, she passed away." And because I'm part of the class of 1979, I made a tribute to Angelique.
And that's what I want to talk about. Thank God for Facebook, because people pass away and you would never know. People get married, people have kids, all this stuff happens and you would never know. And we graduated in 1979, and what, it's 2026. So we've been friends over 47 years, and it seemed like it was quick. And again, how quickly it comes, how quickly it goes. And the truth is, nobody would never know how quickly it comes and goes. So, you know, praying for the family of Angelique Richardson, praying for the Rawls family, just praying that God's will be done. Because, every time it seems like when you are opening up Facebook, you're finding friends and loved ones gone. You know, uh, Fred reached out to me on Sunday, and he never calls me on Sunday. He reached out to me, and he said, "Hey man, my son," and that's all he can say. And that pain, because we've been there, done that with Alex, been there, done that. Um, can write a book about it, because mental health jumps in and all this stuff happens when a loved one passes away. So, I want to pray for him. I want to pray for his family. I want to pray for Fred and his family. I want to pray for Angelique and her family. I just want to pray that God's will be done. This is what we're in the Zai Family Devotional. And this is what it says, Proverbs 20 and 11. Even the child is known by his actions, by whether his conduct is pure and right. Deuteronomy 31 and 8 say, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Mark 11 and 25 said, and when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive him, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you of your sins. And then 2 Corinthians 12 and 29 said, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. So, Father God, as I lift up in the last couple of weeks, Frog, Robert Dixon, and all of those young people who was killed. He's prayed for Derek Thomas, Fred Ross, and Cassandra Ross' son, who passed away. Also praying for the family of Angelique, class of 1979. Sweet young lady, nice, always smiling, just a beautiful soul. So, Father God, I lift up these mighty men and mighty women of God, and I pray, God, that not only do you show up, but you show off, God, and you do exceedingly abundantly above all we can even ask to think. That you touch all of the friends, all of the associates, everybody who's connected to the individuals who passed away within this month. This month. I ain't talking about nothing else. And then all those missing children, God, the homeless, the less fortunate, those in the hospital, those incarcerated. I just want to lift each and every individual up today, God. And I pray that you show up and you show off on today and do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask to think. And God, I ask that you use me for your glory, God, not my will, but thy will be done. So, Father God, we thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' precious name, amen and amen. And I got guests. I definitely got guests on the line with me this morning. I don't know what's going on with my cursor, but I got William on the line, Walker. I got Anthony Lewis on the line. And what I'm talking about today is how do you deal with grief. And it don't necessarily have to be someone who passed away. It can be losing a job. It can be you was an entrepreneur. Now you got to go to work. It can be a whole bunch of different things that's going on in your life. You can be grieving losses. Like a lot of people grieve losses and they don't realize that they're grieving losses. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing. You lose a job, you lose a friendship, you lose a whole bunch of things in life, and you're just grieving, and you don't even know why you're grieving. You don't even know why you're going through what you're going through. You just having a hard time. And then this thing called manhood, you know, is crazy within itself. Just trying to be a man, just figuring it out. Because the thing about manhood, it don't come with instructions. Just like a child don't come with instructions, just like you spend your whole life raising a child and they don't come with instructions. And sometimes the same kids turn on you. Sometimes the same kids are mad at you and they're mad because in their mind, you're supposed to be doing this, this, and that, and you're not a good parent and all kind of crazy stuff. But what they fail to understand, this is your first time being a parent. This is your first time being a husband. This is your first time in a long-term relationship. It's so sometimes these individuals judges you prematurely, especially kids. Kids have this expectation in their head, and when you don't do everything they think you should have done, because now they're adults who will counsel them. Because most fathers and most mothers want their children to be better than them. So I don't know where they get this idea of, you know, just they have all these expectations. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I had expectations from my parents. And then once I got old, I realized that the expectations I had from my parents was unrealistic. I mean, my mom was 15. Her mom had already been dead for 5 years. My dad was 17. He just met a girl that year, and now she's pregnant, and they're about to leave. My grandfather shows back up because my mom had been living with her grandmom for the last 5 years, her and her two sisters. And, they show up. My grandfather shows up, brings them to California, 17 and 15 years old, and she's pregnant. And then my uncle's daughter and her boyfriend kills my grandfather. And so now she's devastated. No father, no mother, pregnant at 15. Pregnant at 15 and trying to just figure this thing called life out. You know what I'm saying? And I had the audacity, to be mad because I'm the 12th child. So she was still young when I was born. And she had 12 kids and a husband. They got married when she turned 16. A month later, he turned 18 and they got married. And a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old coming from Arkansas. I think my dad had a second grade education. My mom had a sixth grade education. And they did a great job. They did an excellent job. I don't know what anybody else might say, but I mean, anywhere in the world, with the lifestyle that they had, they was able to raise 14 children and over 4 generations of kids running in and out of their house and running in and out of their house. You know what I'm saying? So I had my expectations of my parents was totally wrong. So I apologized not only to my parents, I had to apologize to myself, I had to apologize to everybody else. I had to apologize to every single individual who was in my life. Crazy. It's crazy that your children put expectations on you that we wouldn't, you have no idea. I had no idea what my parents was going through. I just was like, you got 14 kids living in a 989 square foot home. At least we owned a home, and you know, you got kids moving back in with their kids. You got aunties and uncles moving in with their kids. And at one point, like I said, it was 24 people in a 989 square foot house. You know how crazy that is? That is bananas. 25 people. That means it was 5 adults and 20 kids living in a 989 square foot house. So we slept everywhere. And we only had one bathroom. Now that's crazy by itself. I got five. And I couldn't even imagine. And I lived there. Even though I can't imagine it, I lived in Empire Road. And at one point, 5 adults in a 3 bedroom house and 20 children or 19 children. So 24 people. So to have the audacity to say my mama didn't do this, my daddy didn't do this, they did the best they can with the information they had. And now I'll be 65, I guess next week, huh? Yeah, probably next week. Yeah, next week. And it took me all these years to realize that the experience my parents had, they did the very best they could with the information that they had. And it helped me get a job, because my dad owned a janitorial service. We owned a catering service. We had a catering truck, like one of the first ones in the United States. We had, so we had the catering truck, we had the janitorial business, and we owned a barbecue spot. So I learned how to be an entrepreneur. And I'm still an entrepreneur to this day because of my parents, because of the decision my parents made or my dad made, and my mom went along with it. My dad was the entrepreneur, hardworking, retired from 2 jobs, making his boys work late nights in janitorial, making us work on a catering truck with our mother. One drive, the other one helped serve with the girls as well, and worked at a barbecue. We had our own barbecue spot. So I learned entrepreneurship from them because they worked hard in the country. And I don't even know how I got on the subject, but I was talking about on Sunday, my boy, Fred, called me and said, "Hey, my son," and that's all he can say was his son. And his son had just passed away. Literally. We haven't got the autopsy, so we don't actually know what's happening. But in your 40s, passing away in your 40s is devastating with 3 children. That's devastating to a parent. That's devastating to the children. That's devastating, period. So, I just want to continue to lift them up. And I want us to be good stewards, just good stewards over our bodies, good stewards of our mind, good to bless you with. And what he has blessed you with is life, health, and strength. He has blessed you with the activities and use of your limbs. He has blessed you with the blood running warm in your vein. He has blessed you with eyes to see, ears to hear, mouth to talk, nose to breathe. He blessed you with common sense, even though common sense ain't common, but he blessed you with common sense. He put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, You wasn't homeless last night, and I pray for the homeless. You wasn't in the hospital last night, and I pray for those in the hospital. You weren't incarcerated, and I'm praying for those who are incarcerated. You didn't go hungry. So if he don't do nothing else, we cannot deny the fact that God is good. And there will be people who tell you don't believe in God. Personally, I'm sorry, I have a personal relationship with my creator. And when I had a heart attack, he healed me. When I had a grandbaby born 1 pound, 6 ounces and prayed, he healed her. When my wife had cancer, he healed her. When my 2 other sons got shot, he healed them. When my other son was flipping about stuff they seen on YouTube or stuff they heard, and you're being brainwashed and you believe in that white man. Listen, I personally have a relationship with God, and I don't need nobody's approval. And what people think about me is really none of my business. And I'm really not going to listen to you if you're not learned. That means not YouTube, not TikTok, not Instagram, none of that. I need to see if you personally have a relationship with your creator, which I have. So I pray, thank you, because I believe what you believe is your truth. You know, I don't get mad when people knock on my doors on Saturdays. I open it up, hold a full, wonderful conversation with them, and remind them, yes, I have a personal relationship with God. Nope, I don't really believe in religion. You know, yes, I attend an ecclesiastic, a place where people come and we come together and we assemble ourselves together. And as we assemble ourselves together, the world calls it a church. But, you know, I go because the Bible said, don't forsake to assemble yourselves together. So we assemble ourselves together. Driving that car. I just seen my neighbor driving his mama car. Wow. But we assemble ourselves together on Sundays, on Thursdays, on different times we have worship, and we go to Bethel University. That's what it's called, Bethel International Outreach Community University. And we learn about our creator. Since we are creation, we learn about our creator. So if anybody else is talking about, I believe what you believe is your truth. And I'm praying for you. And I just hope you make a better decision before you leave this world, because people are leaving this world every single day and listening to the wrong people. So all I'm saying is get a relationship with your creator, your own personal relationship, the same way you have a relationship with your children is personal. Same way you have a relationship with your wife or your significant other is personal. Don't let nobody else in your personal relationship space with the creator, with your spouse, with your children, with the people who you love. Learn how to manage your personal relationship and keep it personal. And if people tell you something, just remind them, I believe what you believe is your truth. That's it. I'm not knocking what you believe. I don't know how you came to that conclusion, what you believe, but what I believe is the experiences I've had. And through the experiences I had, I know without a shadow of a doubt, my relationship is solid. So, you know, again, I want us to learn how to be good stewards, how to manage our lives, how to manage our families, how to manage relationships. And if y'all not getting along and y'all not friends, okay, it's okay. You was an adult when you made the decision to get together. Be an adult and make a decision to break up. And it don't have to be no animosity. I'm going on with my life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited what it takes for us to be in a relationship and learn. Because you got to understand this thing. We was created in the image and likeness of God, who's the creator of the universe. And he in his image, and he created us in his likeness. So because he is the creator, and because our mom and dad connected, they parents connected, and they parents connected, all of that happened throughout the time so that we can be here on earth today. And the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving earth says he created us from before the foundation of the world. So before the world was even created, we was already a part of that plan. And what are you going to do if you're part of a plan to prosper, a plan to be successful, a plan to be great? If you're part of a plan, when are you going to understand the plan? That every morning you get up with brand new grace. Every morning you get up with brand new mercy. Every morning you have life, breath, eyes, ears, nose, mouth. You have all of this stuff going on, and you ought to wake up positive. You ought to enter into the gates of today, because today is the day that the Lord has made, and we ought to rejoice and be glad in it. We ought to enter into this day rejoicing and being glad, because yesterday is gone. We can't do nothing about yesterday. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is, and I want to rejoice in today. And that's what I do every single day. I speak life. I speak life into me. I forgive me. I apologize to me. I appreciate me. I love me. I respect me. I'm kind to me. You know what I'm saying? I value me. So whatever else is going on in the world with everybody else, I'm praying for them, but I'm trying to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, what I was created to do. And what I'm created to do is what I'm doing right now. Created to encourage, created to mentor, created to speak life into people. That's what creation is all about, speaking life so that somebody else can look around and say, because of you, I smile today. Because of you, my life is better. Because of you. And that's all I want, what the shirt say? You have genius abilities within you. You have genius abilities within you. And I believe that. I believe that, Chelsea. I believe that everybody else who's chiming on my TikTok. I believe that those on my Facebook. But, you got to make a conscious decision. And it's easy to grieve. Easy to be mad at your exes. It's easy to be unappreciative to the people who go out of their way for you when you need to be given the same energy back. It's easy to listen to all the negative stuff that's going on in life. That's simplicity. That's simple. You know what I'm saying? That is simple. So, again, I just want to come and just talk to you. And this is Therapy Thursday. And we can talk about anything you want to talk about. We can make plans for the future. We can just, hey, this thing called life, to me, is great. I don't know about nobody else, but life to me is great. And I don't know why this thing doing this. Yeah, so life to me is great. I enjoy life. I'm thankful for every day that I wake up. I'm thankful for every day he's in use in my vein. I'm thankful for a roof over my head and clothes on my back. I'm thankful for shoes on my feet. I'm thankful that last night wasn't my last night. And for all the people who didn't make it, because millions didn't make it, but I was one of the ones who did. And I'm praying for all of those who's in war-torn countries, praying for all of those who believe in God, that God has a plan for their life. I'm praying for those who are in charge, that we may live a quiet and peaceable life. I'm just praying for my family, my sons, my daughters. I'm praying for the homeless. I'm praying for the missing. I'm praying for those on drugs, those in the hospital, those incarcerated. I'm praying for those who are less fortunate. I'm just praying that people make better decisions because you got to be better. You can't be bitter. You got to be better. And once you're better, life is better. You know what I'm saying? Life is great. I don't know about nobody else, but life is great. And I'm enjoying every moment of it. And I ain't saying, I don't go through stuff. I'm not saying that everything is hunky dory. I'm saying that even in the midst of every single thing else, God is good. And he's worthy to be praised. That's all. He's good. And if you don't think he's good, look back over your life. I got all my addresses written down. They're written down. And every time I feel like I'm not enough, every time I feel like life is unfair, every time I feel like, God, where you at? I just look back over my life. I look at my wife. I look at my children. I just look like, whoa, it has to be a God to create this little individual. And now this individual is an adult. And this individual now is a parent. Whoa, that's big. And sometimes we get frustrated with them. But that don't have nothing to do with them. That is a reflection of who we are as individuals. Quit putting your expectations on other people. I think that's the biggest problem in life, that we put our expectations on other people all the time. We put, I expect you to do this, and that. Well, those are your insecurities. You can't dictate people's life. When they're young, you can guide them, but you can't dictate their life. I know parents who still dictate married people's lives. You can't dictate people's lives. And if you do, one day that person's going to become bitter and you're going to lose out in that relationship because you did not allow that individual to be the person who they wanted to be. So let people be themselves. God, the same way God did what he did in your life, he can do what he's going to do in their life. So quit beating people up. Quit trying to make people live up to your expectations, because the majority of the time you're not even happy with the decisions you made for yourself. So how in the world can you be mad at somebody else when you're not even happy with your own decisions in life? You missed out. And then quit living vicarious through your kids. And again, single moms, I'm not knocking y'all, but your son is not your husband. And he's not the man of the house. And if somebody getting offended by that, oh well, he's not. He's a child. He's figuring it out. So quit trying to make him your man and giving him all these instructions. I was talking to a nephew of mine, and he said his whole life, his mom told him, look out for your brother. His father on his side, his children, look out for your siblings. So he's a grown man now, and he's been spending his whole life, even in the negative and the positive, he's been looking out for everybody else. And none of the people are looking out for him. None. I'm the 12th child of 14 kids. Nobody looked out for me. Nobody have any intentions of looking out for me. If I don't reach out to them, they don't reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. I'm not frustrated. I'm just saying, when a person tell you who they are, believe them the first time. The first time. I tell it to my daughters. I tell it to my sons. I tell it to my nephews and nieces. I tell them, when somebody tell you who they are, Believe them. Believe them the first time. That's it. So then, if you maintain a relationship with them, and they already told you who they are, and you still in a relationship with them, it ain't on them no more. It's on you, because you decided you wasn't gonna listen. You decided I want to be in that person. I want to be in that person's life. Then, when I was younger, and it wasn't no long run, because I think from about 16 to 18, by the time I turned 19, I was engaged and getting married. So I like, oh, she a little crazy, but I like her. Bro, she was crazy for real. For real. You know, and sometime when you see it, if you don't see it, go over their house. Go over their house on 4th of July, go over their house on Thanksgiving, go visit their family on Christmas. And I promise you, you'll find everything out you need to know when you go on those 3 holidays. Because them the main holidays, Ray, you know, them the holidays they're going to turn up on 4th of July and maybe Juneteenth, they're going to turn up and you're going to see how they act. You're going to see how their mamas act, how the fathers act. Then on Thanksgiving, you know, when they don't like somebody's food, they're going to turn up then. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna just turn up. So I'm letting you know. You know, hold on a second. I'm letting you know that we make decisions. You know, we make the decisions, and the decisions we make is sometimes not great decisions. It's not great decisions. And we go through life mad because of decisions we made. We made those decisions. Some of us got kids and we don't like their fathers or we don't like their mothers, and we take it out on the kids. We don't want to pay child support. We don't want to deal with the kids. I don't want to deal with you. I don't like your mama. Okay, but you liked her enough to have a baby, or you liked him enough to have a baby. So if you like them enough to have a baby, take care of that baby. Take care of that child. Don't have that person growing up thinking the world hates them because y'all made a decision. Yeah, it might have been a one-night stand. It might have just been sex. But now the child is here. So take care of that child. I don't care if you and the mama don't ever get along. Just be cordial in front of that child. Don't talk about his mama and don't talk about his daddy, because that's their child. That's their parents. So, you know, we make decisions and then we get mad at other people for the decisions we make, which is the craziest thing ever to me. I see people break up all the time, don't speak, walk around mad, angry. Why? There's people I've met who's been mad at me since high school. Yeah, you know what happened to me in high school? No, what happened? I don't even know what happened last week. What happened? In high school, you tried to talk to my girlfriend. I was 17. I tried to talk to anybody who wanted to talk to me, any girl who was available. The heck, I was light skinned with long hair and slim. I was trying to talk to every girl who wanted to talk to me. But I didn't talk to your girl. She was with you. She had a baby by you. She gave me no play, no game, whatever you want to call it back in the day. And you're still holding that over your head, because you're not holding it on my head, because it has not affected my life. Unfortunately, it affected your life, but it hasn't affected my life. And that's what happens. There are people who are bitter at us, whose lives are miserable, and you've been forgave them. I forgive you. I apologize to you. I'm going to live my life, and my life is great. I talked to one person, we used to be friends when we was younger. I seen him. Person said, I ain't talked to you in 40 years. Go on and give me your number. For what? Why would I give you my telephone number? What are we going to talk about? 40 years ago? We're going to talk about 1979? I don't think so. And that's my thing in life. Listen, there are some people you're going to have to love from a distance. There are some people you're going to have to leave behind. And they might be blood related. In order for you to be the individual who God created you to be, and maybe you're the black sheep of the family. That to me, that's the best person in the family. That's who I was, the black sheep. But you're gonna have to make, excuse me, conscious decisions to be a better you. You're gonna have to become a better you, because if you focus your life on worrying about what people think about you, your life is going to be miserable. Believe me, your life is going to be miserable, and you will spend the rest of your life being miserable because of what somebody said about you, or because of what somebody did, or because, I don't know, people just do stuff. And I'm not going to be miserable because other people are miserable. I'm going to enjoy my life. If you like me, cool. You don't like me, okay. You know, if you think I did something to you, forgive me. And if I didn't do nothing to you and you mad at me thinking you did something to me, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm not holding you hostage to nothing you said and did. And you could have did it in your ignorance. So I get it, because you done it in your ignorance. So I'm good. So don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't talk about it. Don't even focus on it. I've been forgave you. I forgave you, and I'm finna live my life, and the rest of my life is going to be the best of my life. And what you think, really, is none of my business. It's none of my business what people think about me. It's none of my business how people feel about me. It's none of my business, that people are angry with me. I am so excited to be living this life. You know how excited I am to be living this life? I'm excited. Ain't nothing in this life can make me mad. You know why? Because God woke me up this morning, because God gave me the activities and use of my limbs, because God gave me the blood running warm in my vein, because I got eyes to see, ears to hear, mouth to talk, a nose to breathe, because I got the activity and use of my limbs, because I got a roof over my head, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, because I didn't get no bad news this morning, because last night wasn't my last night. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow isn't even here. So just if God don't do nothing else, I'm still excited about life. Yes, I have some stuff going on in life, but I'm excited that I'm able to go through the stuff and come up out of the stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Ain't nothing you can say that can make me mad. Ain't nothing you can say that can make me frustrated. Ain't nothing you can say to get me angry. There's nothing nobody can do to change how I feel about life. And I love life. I love living. Just yesterday, I found out one of my friends who graduated with me passed away. Yes, I made a tribute to her. A couple of weeks ago, another one of my friends, Robert Dixon, everybody called him 85th Frog, and 3 other people lost their life. Listen, I'm excited to live. I don't know about nobody else, but Amar, I'm excited to live, man. I'm excited that life is great. Life is great to me. I don't care if somebody's mad. I'm married. Sometimes my wife be arguing. I'll be like, who are you talking to? I didn't even hear nothing you said. My kids be mad. I'm like, I didn't do nothing to y'all. I'm just walking around here enjoying life. There are people who realistically don't like me. Okay, I'm good. I'm praying for you. I hope you have a great life. But my life, how people feel about me, Raquel, I am enjoying life to the fullest. I love life. I'm telling you, this morning, God touched me with brand new grace. He touched me with grace this morning and mercy. And he's long suffering with me. And I got eyes to see. I got ears to hear. I got a mouth to talk. I got a nose to breathe. I got the blood running warm in my vein. I got the activity and use to my limbs. I got a roof over my head, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, transportation. I got a wife. I got kids. I got all of this stuff that God has done for me, stuff I prayed for. I'm excited about life. So if nobody else excited about life, I'm sorry, but I love life. Good morning, Will. I love life. I love life. I'm going to be happy the rest of my life. Ain't nobody can make me mad. Ain't nobody can make me angry. Ain't nobody, and I know that don't sound right, because we're supposed to be politically correct, but ain't nobody gonna change how I feel about life. I love it. And when people say stuff and they get frustrated, well, I don't know why you believe in that white man, God. Hey, bro, that's on you, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's your thoughts. Those are your beliefs. But the God that I know, who I have a personal relationship with, when I had a heart attack, he healed me. When I had a grandbaby born, 1 pound, 6 ounces, she's fine today. 14, she'll be 15 years old. When my wife had cancer, I prayed, God healed her. When my kids was flipping in the car, I prayed, God healed them. When 2 of my sons were shot, God healed them. So I'm not about church or any religion or organization. I have a personal relationship with God, and I got brothers who touches and agree with me. And the Bible reminds me, the basic instructions before leaving earth reminds me that when 2 or 3 of us are gathered together in his name, he will be in the midst, and he inhabits the praises of his people. So if God inhabits the praises of his people, then I'm excited about life. So if you're not excited about life, I might be the wrong person for you to be around. And you can call me and tell me stuff. I'll be like, I believe what you believe is your truth. That's it. I believe it's your truth. So you can't make me mad. You can't have me drinking. You can't have me smoking. You can't have me walking around bitter. I am great. I'm better than I was when I was younger. I'm better. I'm healthy. I got no sicknesses, no diseases, no infirmities. Man, my life is great. I don't know hair, but other than that, my life is great. I got a wife who loves me, children who love me, grandkids and great-grandkids who love me, and I love them and their parents and their extended family. So I'm happy. I'll be 65 on June the 6th. 6661. June the 6th. 65. I don't even think I ever dreamed of being 65. I don't even think that was in my dreams. But now that I'm here, oh man, I'm excited. When you got a couple more days left at 64, I'm excited. Even when situations look bad, circumstances look bad, everything look crazy. Guess what? I'm excited because my life is great. My life is great. And if people don't believe it, I'm sorry if your life not great, but my life is great. And when I ask God to heal me, he healed me. When I ask God to deliver me, he delivered me. Whatever I ask God to do, he does. And he do exceedingly abundantly above all we can even ask or think. Hold on. Let me see what this person says. She says, so I've heard a lot of conversations lately about the expectations of children have on their parents, and I wanted to hear everyone's thought. Do you really feel that some of those expectations are, I guess, let me see what she said. Do I really believe some of those expectations are unrealistic, or many of those traits and expectations actually learned and embedded through the examples set by the parents? Figured it made me think about Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go. I definitely believe in Proverbs. I definitely believe all that. But what I'm not going to do, in the way they should go, when they get old, they won't depart from the training. Listen, Most parents do the very best they can. That's what they do. They do the best they can when they can. And what your kids think of you is really none of your business because kids have expectations. They see their friends' parents, they see other people in their community, and they have all these expectations. Listen, if I have done my very best, I'm whatever my kids think. I had one child call me and told me about myself. And I reminded him, I'm still married. My kids still like me. Guess what? Guess who you on the phone talking to? Your father. So I don't think I was a pretty bad parent. I ain't the best, I ain't the greatest parents, but I'm a great parent. And my friends who I know, and the three men that's on here today, I know for a fact they are great fathers. They're, regardless whatever their relationship look like, they are great fathers to their children. So I only hang out with great fathers. I only kick it with great people. And if you're not great, I'm going to talk you into becoming great because I enjoy life. I love life. Love my kids. They love me. Love my wife. She loved me. Anything she's tripping off or going through ain't got nothing to do with me. She might have just had a hard day at work or somebody probably ticked her off because nobody can tick me off. Nobody can make me mad. Nobody can frustrate me. Nobody. They used to when they cut me off on the freeway. But then one day I had to cut somebody off on the freeway when my mom passed. And I learned sometimes people just in their own world dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. So can't piss me off. Can't make me mad. Call me out of my name. That's not who I am. You say, as long as you don't put your hands on me, I'm good. Because if you put your hands on me, you'll see. But other than that, my life is great. I realistically love my life. I realistically love myself. I've forgiven myself, apologized to myself, appreciate myself, respect myself, kind to myself. I'm good. What everybody else think of me is none of our business. It's a projection of who they are. I'm great. At the end of the day, I'm great. And I love life to the fullest. That's it. No more, no less. I don't care if kids walk around mad. Listen, I'm mad at you sometimes. Well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Well, I did the best I could with the information I had and with the money I had. And I think I did a better job, a greater job. I didn't do a better job than my parents because they did it with no money, nothing, no money, no education, nothing. And they did a great job raising me. And I tried to do the very best I could by giving you everything I never had. And that was a mistake because that's the mistake I made, giving you too much. And now you feel privileged. My bad. Don't worry about it. You have to worry about that. I'm gonna spoil your kids so they can tell you about yourself. How about that? That's what I'm gonna do. Come over your house, dirty up your house the way you dirtied up my house. I'm just saying that was a joke because somebody gonna take it personal. But for William Walker, listen, bro. Kids gonna think what kids think. All we can do. This is what the Bible says. And I'm quoting Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go. And when he get old, he won't depart from the training. Some people got to get old to come back to the training that they was taught when they was young. Because this world can beat you up. Relationships can beat you up. Things can beat you up. Things can have you feeling like the world is against you. Nobody likes you. Nobody loves you. But if you don't like yourself or love yourself or respect yourself or kind to yourself or appreciate and value yourself, how can I appreciate you and value you and you don't do it for yourself? If you don't forgive yourself and apologize, how can I forgive you and apologize to you? Listen, I am not holding nobody hostage to nothing. Whatever you say about me, talk about me, hey, only reason you're talking about me, because when you talk about yourself, nobody's listening. So you got to gang up with a few people to talk about me. Thank you. Thank you for thinking about me. I'm sorry I haven't been thinking about you that much, but thank you. Because life is great. I don't care what they're doing in the White House. I don't care what they're doing in no house. I don't care what's going on. I pray for the world. I pray for people, and I do the very best I can. But am I going to be stressed out? No. This ain't the first president that acted a fool. Ronald Reagan them acted a fool with all the stuff. Just say no to drugs. You're bringing the drugs. What are you talking about? You bringing it to our community. You got trains breaking down in our community. Guns on the trains. What? Say no.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
What's the difference?
There's a difference. Ronald, when you think about Nixon and the Watergate scandal and all the stuff that he did, whether what Ronald Reagan had done and different presidents, the things that they took part in, um, there were some pretty devious ones. I forgot the other one name. Was it Hoover or whatever who did the
people in office
what
are scandalous.
that they did the probe on the Black Panthers and all of that. But this president, he's dismantling uh, so much that our forefathers and our fathers and grandparents and great grandparents struggled for and worked hard for, bled and died for, just so we could sit at the lunch counter. You know what I'm saying? Um, and some people might say, well, we should have never wanted to sit at the lunch counter. Listen, man, we wanted to be able to have the right to be able to go into a restaurant, order some food, get service, order some food, um, pay for our food, and go home. But we couldn't the basic human rights or dignity to be able to go drive down the highway and say, oh, I got to use the restroom. Let's stop at this hotel. Let's stop at this business. Let's stop at this gas station. Let's stop here. And so I can use the bathroom. We weren't even allowed to do that. So they would have an outhouse or some in the middle of a field, or you just had to use it on yourself or find somewhere where you could possibly use the bathroom. You had no toilet paper or anything of that nature. So just the basic common decency and rights that our folks struggled for and died for, this president right now is trying to strip all of that away. He's trying to empower the people, his people, to go back to Jim Crow, go back to segregation,
I
go
get that.
back. And
But why are
so,
we even depend? Why do we even care what he do? It ain't affecting us.
because it yes, it does. Yes,
Because
it
it don't.
does.
It do not. If you
Yeah,
all, bro, black people have depended on God their whole life, and some of us made it, and they've never cared about us. Never. We have never
but
been.
but
Never. Just because we have
the
some laws
freedoms
in
that you
place,
get, the
they've never
freedoms
cared
that
about us.
yeah,
So
but the freedom it doesn't matter. But the freedoms that we have today, a lot of the freedoms that we have today is because of what
I get it. They
our
marched
our
for
our
it.
our,
They did
our,
all that stuff. That's
our folks
fine.
fought for, and
And
so and
you
so
think we
now
gonna put? You really think they're gonna put us back in? Well, I ain't going to slavery.
listen. Well,
I
see,
ain't going
it's
to
a
slavery.
well,
I'm not
see, it's a well, see. This is what you have to understand.
tell me.
It's a different type of slavery.
I get it,
It's a different
but
type of slavery.
it's a
If you take
mindset of
away,
slavery. It's mine. It's mine over matter, bro.
okay,
All I'm saying is you a
you're not
grown man.
understanding. You're
You're
not
a grown.
understanding.
You're a grown
It,
man. God has created in His image. You think just because this person is sitting in an office that he's finna change What
this
God
is what's gonna happen. So this is what's gonna happen, P Shack. This
this
is
is what
what's
you think
happening.
gonna happen. Let's just put it like that.
No,
Go
well,
ahead.
no, no. Listen, you believe what you believe, and let me tell you what I believe.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, okay. So if you disenfranchise a people, where you take away health care, or the health care that is available, you raise it up so high that you can't afford it. So if you can't afford it, then if your sister, your auntie, your cousin, your uncle can't afford the kidney transplant, or don't have the insurance to do it because they couldn't pay for it, then they die. Okay. And then you turn around, you take away all of the jobs, you take away the opportunity for people to get gainful employment and do what they need to do. So now that's another reason why you don't have health care. That's another reason why you can't pay your mortgage. That's another reason why you can't feed your family. And so when you can't do those things, then what are you going to do? What is some people going to do? Because
Okay, let me
no,
help you out.
hold on, let me finish. Let
Hold
me
on. You
finish.
said you asking the question. Let me answer the question
No,
before
no,
you
I'm
say
not.
what.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm not
No,
asking you a
you said
question.
what are people gonna do? What have
No,
we
but
done
listen,
before? Let me just ask you a question. What have we done before any of that stuff was available to us? What have we
listen.
done before any of that stuff was available? We
So,
trusted
so
God and we
okay,
believed
but
in
you
God.
okay,
Go,
Pishat.
go
But
ahead.
you're not letting me finish.
Finish.
So for everybody don't trust God.
That's their loss.
Everybody, okay, it doesn't matter if it's their loss or not. The point is, everyone has not given their lives over to Christ. Everybody that hasn't trusted God. So for the people that are not walking in faith, by faith, and trusting and things of that nature, they're going to look at their circumstance and situation of what they don't have, what they can't afford, what they can't pay. Some people can't even get up and go to work anymore because they can't afford this high gas. So when you get a people into a state where it's so terrible, the next thing that they feel like they're going to do is that I'm just going to take it. And so when you get the mindset of these people, and I'm not talking about you per se, and I'm not talking about every black person or colored person or people of color. I'm not talking about every single person, but for those who can't, and they start looting, they start taking, and then doing this, then that's why they could build all these prisons so they can now put you. That's why they got all these ICE agents and all this other kind of stuff, so they can go and scoop people up, and now they get free slavery in an institution because you're in jail, and now you're back. You got a whole bunch of people back to square one. Will it be everybody? No. But when you put a people in a state where they can't take care of their families, they can't take care of their basic needs, they can't pay for their basic needs, then they're gonna go up into the pharmacy and they're gonna demand what they need. They're gonna go in there um, with guns blazing, saying, "My baby gonna die," and I'm not gonna let my baby die. And because of that, that's how you get people um, back into systematic slavery. No, are we going back to slavery where we're sitting on a plantation? No, but you will go into institutionalized slavery.
I,
You
I,
know,
I personally don't believe everybody. I think, and I'm feeling that Will go next. I personally, this is just my personal opinion. Only way you can go in slavery if you just trust in a system that never wanted you. I've at 65 years old, I understood this system a long time ago. They never cared about us.
I,
So
I, I never said they did. I never
no,
said
no,
they
no. Let
did.
me just. Can I finish? They never cared
No,
about us.
because no, because you interrupted me.
Okay.
They
Hey, but at the end of the day, I've never depended on a system to provide for me. So if God allowed that man to be in office because we wanted this man in office because he was going to do great things for us, and now you're dealing with his consequences. Listen, he's only going to be in office for a few more years if he don't pass away. But I am not going to focus my whole life on what this dude do. This ain't the first time this didn't happen in history. This ain't going to be the last time this happened in history. So I'm not spending my life focused on, I'm going to pray for him and I'm going to keep it moving. My bad. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
So I think that's Amar talking on the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
side. I can't see you. I don't know if your camera's not on, but I agree with you 100%. And I wanted to say that 100%. But I also think that there is other factors in that component that matter. And I've had this conversation actually with my wife regularly, because I have teenage kids and adult kids. And like when we were coming up, when I turned 15 and a half, my first gig was Subway. I worked at Subway on Mac Road. And I was able to make a little bit of money, put some gas in my car when I got a car, things like that. For kids now, that's not a reality because what you said, the adults are going for the jobs that kids would typically go get for after school gigs or whatever. And these kids are not to knock kids, but these kids are built different than we were. They're not getting out cutting grass. They're not getting out doing little chores around the house. So the conversation me and my wife have been having recently, to your point, is the world is changing. You definitely now have to strategically think the way the system is set up, it's not set up for us. You're 100% correct. But we also have to combat the fact that there is general necessities that are needed. Like, for example, if you have multiple children, when your children turn 16 years old and they start driving, if you need assistance, you have to be able to provide them a vehicle. So I believe that knowing the way the system is set up and the way the system is broken down and not beneficial for us, we have to do things to put ourselves in positions to play appropriately. So, for example, rather than when your kid turns 16 saying, hey, you got to go out and get your own car because mama or daddy had to get his own car at 16, you go get a new car and you give your kid that vehicle so that they have the best foot forward. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Or you go out and okay, let's be honest, college is not for everybody. I'm
Correct.
definitely pro education, work in it, have it. But my thing is, college is not for everybody. But you still have to do those things like get 529s for your children. So when your children do make decisions that they're ready to move forward with life, you're able to put them in a situation where they can put their best foot forward. I honestly feel like, to your point, the way the world is right now, especially with the current administration, and I'm not going to just blame the current administration because it has been past administration. They do things in cycles to set things up to happen.
Right.
And the reality of it is we've seen it happening, but what are you doing about it? So rather than, hey, your kid has to do this, you have to sometimes, as the adult in the situation, you forecast and you see and you set forth what you need to put in place to actually make and set up the perimeters for your family to be successful, regardless if that's planning, hey, what if I go to work tomorrow and I lose my gig? Do I have enough bread in the bank to be able to survive for the next 6 to 7 months or even a year? Because we know it's hard to find employment out here right now. Also, what are we doing to put our families in situations to be gainfully employed? Because gainful employment comes with a cost and sacrifices that you have to make to be gainfully employed. If we're not teaching our community these skills to be gainfully employed, we can't blame the administration. We have to blame the community for not forecasting what you've seen was coming, right? So the reality of it is, I was just in New York and I was actually in a barbershop talking about this yesterday. gas is dirt cheap back east, right?
Right. Yeah.
But when you hit them tolls, I just got a bill yesterday from Enterprise because I rented a car because I had to drive to Newark. I hit the tolls. I think I told them in the barbershop, I paid cash at 2 tolls and I crossed 4 other tolls that I didn't pay at. And I got a bill in the mail and the bill was like $35. So the reality of it is, my point of saying all that, it's affecting everybody all over the nation. It's just in different capacities. Because in California, we don't pay $18 at the toll. We pay $7. But we pay the highway tax, which compensates the difference.
Okay.
So I think in a financial forecasting standpoint, you have to figure out where do you want to be. Do you want to survive? Do you want to be stable? Or do you want to be successful? You know what I'm saying? And you have to forecast that based off of whoever's in administration, whoever's not in administration, whatever that looks like. I mean, I can only speak for myself. And it's funny because me and my wife were talking about this yesterday. For those who live in the state of California and who are state employees, most of them have to go back to work 4 days out of the week, July 1st, right? And they took like, I don't know, 3 or 5% of our pay. You know what I'm saying? A couple months back, and they give us some PLP time. My wife was talking to me about it, and I was like, I don't even think twice about it because I made some choices in my 20s that are panning out in my 40s, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is my thing. I grew up, because there were so many of us, learning how to be an entrepreneur. And so my whole life, I have been an entrepreneur. I've had jobs. I got a master's and a doctor's degree. I can get a job. But my heart is entrepreneurship. So I don't get stressed out about a job. And I'm not knocking nobody who works a job. But that doesn't bother me. You know, it overwhelms my wife because she wants me to go get a job. But how are we going to continue to live the way we live if I go work for somebody who might be jealous of what I'm driving, where I'm living, what my house? I don't have that energy. So because as a child, I learned how to be an entrepreneur. So my life is being an entrepreneur. That's it. And I'm not knocking what Amar believe. I'm not knocking what the administration believe. Listen, these people are going to do what they want to. We live in a corporation, and I've worked for corporations. Corporations going to hire new presidents. And once they hire a new president, that corporation is going to do what that corporation been doing. And they're going to hire the people they want to work with them. They're going to hook up their friends. They're going to make sure their friends get the best of everything. And they're going to try to leave you poor. That's what they do. But it is what it is.
Right. Well, I'm not talking about you.
No,
I'm not talking about every black person. I'm just talking about in general. And it's good that Will was able to do some stuff in his 20s where he cool in his 40s. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, and again, people will say, because I heard a Caucasian person say this just recently. Everybody has the same opportunity to pull up their bootstraps. Well, I saw this diagram. On this political thing, and there was a race. There was a Caucasian man on the left, and they were racing to the finish line. On the left, he had clear path. On the right, the runner, which was a African American, happened to be a woman. She was on the right, but on her path to the finish line, there was there was an alligator. On the other end of it, there was some cactus bushes. In the other part of the track, it was a tiger. It was a fence. It was a fence on the track, and the caption said, "Quit complaining. We're both running the same distance, but your path is clear. Your path is clear. Your path is clear. I gotta avoid jump over alligators. I gotta jump over the fence. I gotta avoid the cactus bush. I gotta avoid the police. I gotta do all these different things. So we have to understand that the playing field has never been leveled. Yeah, have black people been able to start Black Wall Street, do all the things they did in Oklahoma, all the things that we built, and then they go in and bomb Philadelphia. They go in there and burn down Oklahoma, all these different places, the things that we built up, businesses and towns and all these different things. So we've always been the type of people who were um,
Resilient.
resilient. Yeah,
Right.
we've always been resilient. But the fact is, you got these generals, these high ranking um, African American officials in our military. I mean, top tier. They go in there and they strip them of they go in there and strip them of their jobs. They go in there and strip them and put non-qualified people in those positions. You got people working for the federal government and all these different things like that. Like you said, some people are meant to be entrepreneurs, some people aren't. Some people um uh thrive in college, some kids don't. Some people don't. We have to understand that everybody is not going to be just fine, just like you guys are in what you do, how you did it, and everything of that nature. So we have to understand that. So when we look at it in a totality of a total thing, there are going to be so many people affected. And you can't say, well, everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. No, you can try and tell me, I mean, everybody just don't have the mindset and the bandwidth to do that. So what they have to do, they have to go out there, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, go work for PG&E, go work for the power company, go work for the water district, go work for the garbage companies. And when you get an administration in here that is purposely trying to strip you of everything that you have really worked hard all your life for, and you try to be the right kind of citizen in people. You go to church, you do this, you try to raise your kids right, you put them in the best schools possible so they can have the opportunity to thrive. And then you come in here and you trying to strip it to make us start back at ground zero. Yeah, can we make it through? Of course we can. But you put us back at the starting line with alligators, cactus bushes, and fences to jump on over.
But we always been there. When did we thought we left that? I ain't
Listen,
never thought I left it. I always
listen.
knew. I'm just saying, I always knew there's
I,
going to be
I
obstacles
get
in
I
order
get that,
to
P Shack.
success.
I get that. I get that. We've always had to deal with it. But
Okay. So why
it's
are we
like
upset?
you just it's like but it's like you just but it's almost like you just, even though we understand it, but it's almost like you just dismissed it again.
I'm
Just
not
be,
dismissing it. I'm just
be
saying we're so overwhelmed by what this fool is doing. We're we're stressing our own self out about what he's doing. He's working for a corporation. He's a puppet for everybody else who's in the background. And when you understand that, you have to do your very best. The Bible said, train up a child in the way he should go. We should train our children. We should help our kids. Yeah, he's gonna do whatever he can to hook his friends up. I get that. And people are gonna lose jobs. And when they lose a job, they got enough gifts and talents to go out and work for themselves. I believe that wholeheartedly. But
I believe that too. That's why I get up and do what I do. Am I not an entrepreneur myself? You
yeah,
know,
but I'm saying you're
whether I'm a good
you're
one,
letting him
whether I'm a good one.
you're letting him like he's bigger than God. The people are making him like he's bigger than God. God, who created this universe, who created us in his image and his likeness, has never failed us. Well, I've never been failed, and I'm 65 years old. I've never seen my parents fail, and they died at 88. I was once young and now I'm old, and I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread. So I don't believe that this man is bigger than God. I don't believe none of them. They can die
Oh,
tomorrow too, or today. None of these
absolutely,
people, none of these people
absolutely.
are bigger than God. So we gotta quit making them bigger than God. We got to bring them back to where they are. They're a human being doing what they do to look out for their partners. That's all they doing. They just looking out for their homeboys. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
Amar, I agree with you 100%. Again, I'm gonna say this, and I typically don't say. I'm blessed to be in multiple different spaces. Because I am a civil servant, but I am also an entrepreneur. I own a portion of a bar. I agree with you 100%, but there's a portion of it that I don't agree with. Because I've been in the workforce with education, I've been in the workforce without education, and I do agree with the portion that you said about the bootstrap pull-up. I've heard it for years. And I also have the pleasure of working in an environment that's predominantly white. Not only is it predominantly white, it's also predominantly white female, minus a couple white males here and there. But I realized during the process that, yes, I have those obstacles, but those obstacles are not barriers. And I think that's where people get confused sometimes, is that there's a difference between an obstacle and a barrier, if that makes sense. A barrier is going to stop you. An obstacle is going to give you an option to go around it in a different manner. So for me, and I only can speak for myself, being a Black man, I realized that early. I worked in the finance space for many years till I was probably about 25-ish, somewhere around there. I took a job working for the state of California, and I drove to the Bay Area every single day for a bottom of the barrel job. I took about a $75,000 a year pay cut to take this job, because I knew it would give me what I needed in the long haul on the back end. Did that for a while, got in that space, and I started surveying the room and saying, okay, and this is where I think the difference between barriers and obstacles are. I started surveying the room and I said, okay, I see this person over here doing this. I see this person over here doing this. I see this person over here doing this. Which one of these people do I want to be in this capacity? And how do I get there? Well, I had to make a decision. And I tell my children this too. And my oldest daughter is starting to understand it a little bit more. But you have to make a decision. And I think you being an entrepreneur, you said it. You either gonna be the person that gets told what to do every day, or you gonna be the person to tell people what to do every day. And that's what I think the difference is between the obstacles and the barriers, especially for us. I made a decision a long time ago. I'm not going to get told what to do every day. I'm going to do what I want to do on a daily basis and tell people what to do, or at least assist them, if that makes sense. When I started to make my way towards that direction, I was probably about 27. Doors closing. Boom, boom, boom. I'm making a little bit of progress. Doors are still closing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm at an obstacle. It's not a barrier. What do I got to do? Went back to school. During that process, boom, I end up moving forward in the direction that I want to move, right? Fast forward, get through my 20s, make it through my early 30s. I get to a space and I come across somebody that looks like us. And then I come across somebody that doesn't look like us. Both of them are mentoring me. And they're like, hey, you could be here, but you're lacking some of these things. And I was like, man, I'm not really lacking in those areas, but you have to be able to take that criticism. Is it a barrier or an obstacle? So then I'm back in the space. I'm surveying the room. Boom, boom, boom. I'm looking. I come across somebody and I have this conversation with them. I choose to go to law school because I knew that would help me get past that obstacle because I knew I wasn't stuck. So I chose to do that. Boom, I get into law school. I'm one of two. We still friends till this day. And we looked at each other struggling through the first class, right? Contract law. And we made a pact. Hey, at the end of the day, we're going to walk across the stage together. Unfortunately, COVID happened and we didn't walk, but we watched it together. Still friends till this day. So I do believe what you're saying is true, is that there is obstacles for people that look like me and you, but they ain't barriers. And we have to stop making them barriers because there's options to get out there and see life from a different light. I'm listening to P-Shack like, hey man, I love life. Somebody else that's on this call is like, man, right now it's bad. You get what I'm saying? But is it really bad? Or are you making an obstacle a barrier? I'm a strong believer in the fact that, and it's funny because I mentor one of my younger cousins. He texted me about this yesterday. And this is not a politically correct way to say this, but I'm just gonna say it. I might get canceled off of this call for saying this.
You ain't gonna get canceled. Go ahead, bro. Just say it.
But this is how I, and I'm speaking for myself before anybody jumps on me. This is how I have always looked at my professional life. Either you're gonna give it to me or I'm gonna take it. That's just the reality of it. So I look at it from a strong arm robbery standpoint. I'm gonna ask you once, I'm gonna ask you twice. I'm not gonna ask you a third time. Either way, I'm gonna get what I want out of the situation, and I'm not gonna manipulate you into doing it. So for me, and I'll just share this, I went to law school by default, and I'm gonna share this in the group. I worked with this gentleman. I won't say his name. He don't look like us. And he used to come into meetings and he would quote the law to my supervisor, which was one of this lady who was mentoring me at the time. And this is what it is. And it needs to be applied like this. And I would sit in those meetings and I'd be like, man, we do the same job. And that's not how I apply that. I think you're reading that and interpreting it the wrong way. Right. So ultimately, that was an obstacle for me that made me realize, hey, go to law school, because I want to know why the laws are written the way they're written, how they're applied the way that they're supposed to be applied, and how they even get built. Where do they start at? How do we get to this point of an understanding of how life really works, right? Well, I did that for my own personal gain. That was an obstacle, not a barrier. Ultimately, 6 months later, I ended up being his boss. About 3 months after that, I ended up taking another job. I took him out to lunch before I left and departed that agency and said, hey, man, I'm going to give you some advice. Go to the meetings, stop quoting the laws because you're not interpreting them correctly. And that's what's holding you back professionally, right? I leave. Probably about 6 months after, he sends me a text message. Hey, man, you was right. I had forgot about the conversation. Right about what? This is what it is, but I got a promotion. Got into the promotion, went right back into the same cycle. So my point in sharing that story is I realized through that experience, sometimes what we interpret to be a barrier or an obstacle or competition, it ain't. It's a mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly thought this dude was competition until I realized, bruh, we're not built the same and we're not equal. Not at all. We just on two different paths because of what we look like and how society sees us.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it. You know, so I mean, I think everybody on this call that I've spoken to regularly, we've all combated the same things, just in different environments, different capacities, and it's all panned out for the betterment. I think that the downfall for sometimes in current spaces is that we're not utilizing that information and passing it on to those young men that look like us. and say, hey, man, I've been there, bruh. This is what I did in this situation. I'm not going to say this is what's going to work for you in this situation. But if you try this tactic versus that tactic, it may pan out better for you. Right. And that's just my view on what you have said.
So part of that is because when I was younger, we went to the mall, right? Eastmont Mall, and you're from the town, so you know what Eastmont Mall is. And we got out of school early. We got out of school early, and we went to the mall. Well, we didn't know that you can't go to the mall before 3:00. So security guard grabbed us, body slammed us, did all kind of crazy stuff because you're cutting school and da 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 da. You're not supposed to be at the mall. But when he slammed me before I called my parents, or he called my parents, and he was in for a big awakening, it was a sign on the floor. When I was looking on the floor, I was looking up. It was a sign that says, "Winners never quit, and quitters never win." And when my parents came up there, because this little security guard was talking all this crap, yeah, you about to go to jail, you about to do this, this, and that. And when my father walked in there, and my father worked a lot, so he was never home, 14 kids. He walked in there, he was like, take them off of my son. So the dude was like intimidated, so he took him off. And he said, why did you hold my son against his will? Well, the police is on their way. He said, I didn't ask you what the police was doing because I'll deal with the police. Why did you do what you did? Well, your son ain't supposed to be in the mall before 3:00 and it's only 1:00. He said, well, he get out of school at 12. Well, he didn't say that. He said, did he allow you to say that? I said, he allowed me to say nothing. He just grabbed me, threw my hands behind my back, and body slammed me on the floor. My father was like, you body slammed my son on the floor? It was like, you know what I'll do to you right now? And I don't care about no so-and-so police. And I will hurt you, but I'm gonna let you slide. And you take this as a lesson. If you ever lay your hands on my son again, that's gonna be your last day on earth. That's exactly what my dad told him. So when the police came, my father told the police, what you here for? And the police was like, well, they said something. No, they didn't cut no school. They get out of school at 12:00. And this dude just jumped the gun. He over here being a mall cop, a toy cop, something my father called him. And the police left. But that sign always stuck in my head. Winners never quit, quitters never win. And I'd have been a school teacher. I didn't work for Bank of America. I've been a vice president of Bank of America. I've been corporate officer. I didn't work at all these places, right? And there's always this one person in charge who's on a power trip. And I've decided, because I personally think I'm more intelligent than this person, I'm not going to even entertain this shenanigans. I'm not going to stay on a place and get humiliated. I'm not going to let people talk to me any kind of way. I'm going to make a conscious decision in life to be great. And I don't care who don't like me. I don't care who talk about me. I don't care what people say. My goal for me is to forgive me, apologize to me, love me, appreciate me, value me. I'm going to look out for me. And then if I can bless anybody else, I'm going to be a blessing to you. But I don't care what the administration do, because I'll be 65 years old. And I've seen this administration back to back to back to back. I mean, the Nixon, I didn't see the Reagan, how they destroyed our communities and how our communities just went freely into smoking crack. So what? They brought crack into the place. I ain't never smoked crack. So what? They brought weed. I ain't never smoked weed, and I'm not better than nobody. So what? They brought alcohol, prohibition. I had one drink and I realized that wasn't me. So I made decisions what was best for me and my family. So whatever this administration do, if I got to get out there and do Uber, if I got to get out there and own my own van, own my own box truck, whatever I got to do to be successful for me and my family, I'm not allowing what an administration does. God has given me gifts and talents. And because God has given me gifts and talents, I'm not going to sit around and have a pity party. So what? It's happening. It's obstacles. And I'm going to get around those obstacles. Okay, it's an alligator. I ain't going to try to run in front of him. I'm going to walk on him and walk over him. He can't reach back and get me on his back. And if there's some whatever out there, I'm going to walk through that and make sure I don't get stuck. And then if there's a fence, I'm going to jump that fence, because that person is not going to outbeat me doing anything, because they don't even have the ability to do what we do. Our melon makes us better. That's why they don't like us. That's the whole thing with America. They mad at this melon. We've been the indigenous people of the land. We was created in his image and his likeness. And if you don't think you're a king, then you're going to be a peasant. You're going to be somebody's peasant. I think I'm a king. Matter of fact, I know I'm a king. My name means thankful king who laughs and increase in prosperity. And each one of my kids, I taught them to be entrepreneurs. You go get a job, fine. My son told me the other day, hey, Pops, I got a job. They're only paying X, Y, Z. He went to work 2 days. He was like, nope, ain't finna do this. Went back to being an entrepreneur. Just instantly. He was like, I make more money being an entrepreneur than I make sitting at somebody's job wasting my time. I'm not doing that, because I taught my kids how to be entrepreneurs. Yes, if you got to go out and get a job, go get it. Be the best person on that job. Get promoted. My daughter was working with my wife. She just got promoted to work for a major hospital. My wife liked her job. She's chilling. She ain't doing that. She helping people listen to music. She liked what she does. But as for me, listen, God created me in his image and likeness. And I'm not even worried about what them people doing. I don't care what none of the people do. I don't care what none of the people say. I'm going to enjoy my life, because tomorrow ain't even promised to me. The rest of the day ain't promised to me. So if we didn't have health care when we was young, what would my mama did? Give us some K-Roll syrup, castor oil, and some K-Roll syrup, or whatever, the castor oil, and some, what was this other stuff she gave us? Cod liver oil every day. And we stayed healthy. And we trusted God. So let them do whatever they're going to do. And at the end of the day, it's going to make us pray more, trust God more, love God more, because these people don't care about us. They don't. And I don't care if they don't care about us. That's them. They got to meet God or their creator, or whoever their creator is. But I'm not going to waste my energy. I'm not going to be unhappy. I'm going to be happy just because God woke me up this morning. I'm going to be happy because I got eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to talk, a nose to breathe. I'm going to be happy because, hey, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. So I love my life. Whatever else happened in the world, and that might sound selfish, that might sound whatever. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. But as I'm going to be worried about what's going on in D.C., we live in a corporation. And if you ever worked for a corporation, they change presidents. And when they change presidents, they change the rules. And the president prior to changed the rules before the one who came in. The only reason you see him, because he's a narcissist and he's a liar, and because he's crazy. And the reason I used to think these people who were sitting in the Senate and in the White House and all these people in Congress, I realized these are the most ignorant people in the world. All of them. Because they're being dictated. They're being dictated, and if you don't do what I like, I'm going to fire you. That sounds like a job. You don't do what I say, I'm going to fire you. And I'm not never going to come under the subjection. I'm going to pray for those who have rule over me so I may live a quiet and peaceful life. But you think I'm sitting around having a pity party because gas went up? I just bought an electric car. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I leased an electric car. And electricity ain't cheap. And I'm not saying I don't got all kind of stuff going on in my life. But I trust God enough to know I was once young and now I'm older. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken. And I've never seen the seed bake bread. So, hey, we might have different belief systems, but that's what I believe. And I believe what I believe is my truth. I don't know about nobody else's truth. I'm just telling you about my truth. And that's what I believe. So whatever's going on in D.C., whatever's going on, whatever these people do it. I'm going to trust God. I'm going to believe God. And if that's frustrating, I'm sorry. This is what I believe. And I believe I'm a child of God. I don't believe he ain't forsaken me so far. In 64 years, he's been good. And on June the 6th, it'll be 65. He's been good to me. And he has done exceedingly abundantly above all I can ask or think. And he has no respect to person. So if you don't trust God, whoever you trust in, you got to deal with the consequences of what you trust in. That's all I'm saying. So I get it, Amar, if that's what you believe, and whatever they're doing, I'm sorry. That's just not me. I don't care what they do. At the end of the day, I'm serious. I'm serious. I done had a massive heart attack. So I'm telling you, when I say I'm serious as a heart attack, I mean that. And having a heart attack ain't no easy thing to do. And having a gallbladder removed ain't no easy thing to do. But the God that I serve, and he has done exceedingly abundantly above all that I can even ask or think. So whatever they're doing has no effect on what I'm doing. It might rattle some stuff, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. People are so overwhelmed. They're making this person like he's a God. He's a person that was created the same way I was created. So why are y'all giving this person so much power? They ain't got no more power than God gives them. That's it. The only power they got is what God allowed them to do. And if everybody's so overwhelmed, maybe you ought to be talking to God. Because I love life. I love everything I'm doing. And I got some stuff going on. And I got some major stuff going on. But this stuff don't affect me. I'm going to wake up. My family good. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm loving life. I love life. I love life. I love my life. I love everything that's going on in my life. That's it. I love he woke me up this morning. I love he touched me with his finger of love. I love he gave me eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to talk, a nose to breathe, the activities and use of my limbs, the blood running warm in my vein. I love God. That's it. And I agree with Will. I agree with Amar, but I just don't agree with the fact that this president and his people, they ain't doing nothing they ain't been doing. Prohibition, burning up black people stuff. We always been resilient. We gonna always be resilient. You know why? Because we God's people. And because we God's people, we gonna always rise. We gonna rise every single time. No matter what happens, we gonna rise. And we are the people of God who are created in his image. And I don't care who's in office, we gonna keep rising up. And we gonna keep being great. So, you can get overwhelmed by what's going on in the world. I ain't. And I promise you, I'm not. And it might be a little frustrating to somebody else, but I am not overwhelmed with what's going on in the corporation of America. That's all I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't arguing with nobody, and I ain't mad at nobody, and I ain't frustrated. I'm just telling you what I believe. I got a friend who just graduated with me. Gone. Tomorrow ain't promised to us. My buddy's son went to work Sunday. My godson brother went to work Sunday. Boss asked him to go pick somebody up. He picked up the person. Hey, I'm not feeling good. Can you drive back to work? Then he said, hey, I can't breathe. Can you, instead of the guy calling the ambulance or going to the fire department, ambulance, or the fire department, he called his job and took him back to work. He died. The rest of the day ain't even promised to us. So you really think I'm going to be caught up with the cares of this world? No. I'm going to enjoy my life. And again, my life is great to me. I love me. I respect me. I'm kind to me. I value me. I, I, I'm overwhelmed with me that God allowed me to live this long, that God blessed me with a wife, that God blessed me with kids. Just because we look at them, that they are miracles, and they're having kids. That's a miracle every single day. When I look at my kids, that's a miracle. My grandkids, a miracle. My great grand, a miracle. Me alive, 64 years old, gonna be 65 in a few days, a miracle. So I get a miracle every day when my eyes open, when my ears open, when my nose, I can breathe with my mouth. I ain't got time to be mad. I'm enjoying life. And what people think about me is none of my business. None. And it doesn't affect me when people are mad at me. If you ain't got my phone number, you can't be mad at me. You don't even know how to reach me. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I ain't mad at nobody. I believe what y'all believe. You know what I'm saying? But this government, these people, I'm not wasting my life. I'm enjoying my life to the fullest. Because you worried about these people, you're going to have an ulcer, you're going to have diabetes, you're going to have high blood pressure. You're going to, listen, I Google old time remedies all the time. I do. I Google them, old time remedies, cod liver oil, castor oil, da 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 da. And that stuff worked just fine. That's the stuff we had before we had medical. That's the stuff we had before we was trusting the system. That's the stuff we had before there was welfare and before there was food stamps and before we shared as family members, shared food and ate together and lived together. All this stuff before these people came in and tricked us. And now we're tricked by these people. And the moment they trick you, they take it away from you. And you running around here going crazy because they took something away from you you was dependent on. I just can't depend on them. That's it. I ain't never been able to depend on them. I got a retirement check. I was like, are you kidding? That's my car note. Are you kidding? Come on. Always trust it and trust God. That's it. No more, no less. That's who I am. So, you know, I ain't mad at you anymore. I mean, if that's what you believe, hey, bro, love you, bro. Aunt, love you, bro. Will, love you, bro. Mr. Zaid, love you too. Hakeem, you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, when it comes down to trust between man and God, I'm always trusting God. I'm always believing God. I don't care what happens. I believe in God.
No, I'm right there with you. It's not that I believe in that. I'm just what we were talking about the conditions of the world. And everybody, your faith is strong. You are a believer. You know what I'm saying? And so everyone is not where you are. Everybody's not where Will is. Everybody's not where I am. Uh and although, I have I'm doing things on my own, I had a job, you know, got my own delivery service and all that kind of stuff like that. Now, you know, uh, the music and everything else, and definitely God on my side, but everybody is not there. So I'm just talking in general when we talk about uh, you say, oh, we're not going to go, ain't nobody going back to slavery. Now, I don't think, no, we're not going back to that. We're just talking about institutionalized mind and institutionalized mindset and how they will try to maneuver anything that they can maneuver to help put us back. As I said, I take one step forward and all of a sudden I gotta take 3 steps back. Gotta take I take 2 or 3 steps forward. Now I got to take 6 or 7 steps back because now I got to redo this. I got to rethink this. Got to recalibrate. You know, um, just leave it all alone. Just leave it all alone. Mind your business, and we'll continue to mind our business. But they keep us on their mind 24/7, 365, 366. You
So
get
why
the
do you
lead
think
bill.
why do you think they do that? Because
I
they're
don't know. I don't know the
intimidated.
mindset of the, I don't know the
No,
mindset of the
they're
of them.
intimidated. They're intimidated by our melon. They want to be
Maybe
us.
maybe
They want to
so.
be
Maybe
us.
so. Absolutely. Absolutely. But
Everything
listen,
that's been invented was invented by us. They just stole it. They want to be us. So if somebody want to be you and always copying you and trying to push you back, nobody can push me back. Period. Because I didn't depend on you when I walked for it, and I'm gonna keep going for it. It's nobody can push me back to nothing. I'm good. I don't I don't even believe in none of that. I realistically don't believe when I go 2 steps, you're gonna push me back 3. Not me. And I feel sorry for the people who don't have faith, because the Bible says the poor you'll have among you always. That's the way they think. That's who they are. You're gonna have them among you always. It's
right,
unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, that you let a system manipulate you into selling what you have for something else. I was listening to um I forgot who it was. They were talking about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was doing good until he partnered up with Sony. And then they wanted everything he had.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And then when Sony wanted everything he had, all of a sudden Michael Jackson started struggling. All of a sudden he died. As long as he owned all the stuff he owned, he was good. When they gave him 50% of Sony, then they wanted it all back. The Beatles, Elton John, they wanted all of that stuff back because they don't share. They don't share with us. All that time the Beatle catalogs was out there and all those catalogs was out there. Nobody cared about it until Michael Jackson got it. You know what I'm saying? So we already know these people, who these people are. We know they're deceitful. We know they're the enemy. I don't expect nothing positive from them ever. And I live around people who I see every day who walk out their house, same time I walk out my house, and don't speak. Don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even bother me. Somebody else be like, my neighbors don't speak to me. I don't care if you don't speak to me. You're speaking to me ain't gonna make me better or bitter. Period. If you don't want to speak, fine. I don't care you don't speak. You're not affecting me. You're hurting your own self. You missing out on opportunities. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh my God, your neighbor don't speak to you. I don't care. But I bet they're nosy butt always on my Facebook, always listening to what I'm saying. But if you don't speak to me, I really don't care. I don't let nobody affect me. I just know my parents taught me trust God, and we wasn't even poor. We was poor, P-O. They taught me to trust God, believe in God, and He's show up every single time. And that's been working 64 years of my life. And I think William Walker was saying, to your point, do we ever stop and ask ourselves if some systems were created in ways that cause more division than unity? Before the welfare system, many communities survived through family, faith, and work ethic and helping each other. Real strength comes from rebuilding strong homes and accountability. You know, before welfare, there was more black families than any race. And the truth of the matter is there's still more black families than any race. But do we believe that? We let them think, oh, all black men left their family. All black men ain't left their families. Quit lying. Black people love their families. and they're there for their families. And black fathers are supporting their families. Like I said, the black men on this line, they love their family. They love their kids. They love looking out for their kids. Man, I don't believe this system. This system's always lying. They enjoy lying. That's what they do. They love to lie. I ain't never met a system that loved to lie. But it is what it is, bro. I was trying to read the rest of William's question, but I can't. My computer ain't working for some reason. Oh, it says, we always been on their mind because deep down they know where the competition and the standard. The bar doesn't chase attention. The bar set is a city set on a hill, cannot be hidden. Matthew 5. I believe that, William. That's what we are to them. They want to be us. And they know that we are the indigenous people of the world. So, you know, and then let me see what Gregory says. Good morning. Welcome to another day. Just listening in. Hi. Thank you, Gregory. And anybody else? You know what I'm saying? But Amor, I get it. But we're going to have the poor among us always. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally trapped. You're going to always have people who are trapped, who depend on the government, who need the government.
Right. I've always been the type of person that kept his head on a swivel and everything like that. Be mindful of where I'm going, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. It's just now I gotta be at an all-time height, and I gotta have my spidey senses. I gotta have my spidey senses on extra now, because now you gotta really pay attention to your surroundings. You know, and those are the things. You know, I'm not concerned or worried about them. But man, it's just certain things you just gotta always just be on point about, man, so you can continue to survive out here, you know.
I don't think that's changed, bro. I mean, back in the day, they had the Green Book where we can stay at hotels and where we couldn't. So ain't nothing really changed. Solomon says there is nothing new under the sun, nothing. So
Right.
whatever these people doing, and they ain't doing nothing they ain't been doing. That's all I got to say. They've been scammed.
Right.
My bad, Amar. I got kicked out the studio. But, you know, hey, man, great show. I appreciate you. I love you. I love all of y'all. I got to go. I got kicked out the studio, but I got to come back in for a few minutes just to let y'all know I love you big, and there's nothing you can do about it. Everybody, y'all be great. and CalFresh is making a change in food stamps, you're going to have to go out and work 80 hours a month. Man, you might as well just go and people that's on disability and Social Security that get food stamps that does not supply them. Hey, y'all, listen. We're going to have to start trusting God, believing God, and God's going to show up and show off. In Jesus' name, hey, love you big. Have a good one. Peace.